Welcome back. Today, we're delving into one of the most harrowing survival stories ever recorded. In 1972, Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed in the freezing Andes Mountains, stranding its passengers for months in unimaginable conditions. Stick around to uncover this incredible journey of resilience and hope. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories like this. 1. The ill-fated flight. Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 embarked on a seemingly routine journey on October 12, 1972, transporting the Old Christians Club rugby team, along with their friends and families from Montevideo, Uruguay, to Santiago, Chile. However, to reach Santiago, the flight had to navigate the perilous Andes Mountains, notorious for unpredictable weather patterns. While attempting to cross the Andes, the pilots encountered turbulence and were forced to make adjustments to their route. Unfortunately, a navigational miscalculation led the crew to believe they had cleared the mountains. They began their descent too early, unaware of the massive peaks that still lay ahead. 2. Stranded in the Andes. For those who survived the initial crash, survival in the Andes presented a brutal challenge. Situated at an altitude of 12,000 feet, the crash site was surrounded by imposing, snow-covered mountains and an unforgiving landscape. Daytime temperatures barely rose above freezing, while nighttime temperatures plunged as low as -30 degrees Celsius, subjecting survivors to extreme cold. The air was thin, making it difficult to breathe and worsening the injuries sustained in the crash. The survivors relied on the shattered fuselage for shelter, but it offered minimal protection against the elements. Many suffered from frostbite, their hands and feet painfully affected by the intense cold. 3. Scarcity of food and water. In the days immediately following the crash, the survivors scavenged through the wreckage, discovering only a small assortment of food and some chocolate bars, a few crackers, and small bottles of wine. The group rationed these limited provisions carefully, understanding they would need to stretch them for as long as possible. But within days, the meager supplies were depleted, leaving the survivors with nothing to sustain them. Water was also scarce, forcing the group to resort to melting snow using makeshift metal containers. The lack of both food and proper hydration began to take a heavy toll on their health as hunger gnawed at their bodies and their strength waned. 4. The unthinkable choice. As hunger worsened and their bodies weakened, the survivors were faced with a choice many considered unthinkable. To survive, they would have to consume the bodies of those who had perished in the crash. It was a decision met with profound moral conflict and deep religious and cultural concerns. Many resisted initially, feeling the emotional and ethical weight of such a decision. But with no other options and the biting cold consuming their strength, they collectively agreed that this act was a necessity for their survival. They took solace in their shared faith, viewing it as a difficult but ultimately life-preserving choice. 5. Maintaining hope and morale. In the face of such despair, the survivors found that maintaining hope was as vital as finding food or water. They established a daily routine that included tasks to keep their minds and bodies engaged. They took turns sharing stories, reminiscing about happier times, and even praying together, drawing strength from their faith. Leadership emerged naturally within the group, as certain individuals inspired others to keep fighting for survival. Some survivors became lookouts, watching for any sign of help or an approaching plane. This sense of community and shared responsibility helped them resist the growing sense of hopelessness. 6. Failed rescue attempts. Meanwhile, their loved ones back home were clinging to hope that the missing flight would be found. Multiple search and rescue teams scoured the Andes Mountains, attempting to locate the crash site from the air. However, dense snowfall concealed the wreckage, and visibility in the region was often poor due to frequent storms and clouds that obscured the view. After several days with no signs of survivors, the authorities eventually called off the official search, declaring that no one could have survived under such conditions. This news devastated the survivors' families, while the survivors themselves were unaware that hope for their rescue had been abandoned. 7. The trek for help. Facing the harsh truth that no rescue was coming, two survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, made the courageous decision to trek across the Andes to find help. After weeks of preparing and waiting for favorable weather, they gathered what little they had for the journey, including a few makeshift provisions and insulated clothing crafted from parts of the aircraft. The trek was brutal and exhausting, as they climbed peaks, navigated sharp ridges, and endured extreme cold. Hunger and exhaustion tested their resolve each step of the way. Yet they pushed forward, determined to find civilization and save their fellow survivors. 8. The moment of rescue. On the 10th day of their trek, Parado and Canessa encountered a Chilean shepherd who immediately recognized their dire situation. The shepherd went to alert the authorities, and within hours, the news spread like wildfire, prompting an immediate rescue mission. Helicopters were dispatched to the crash site on December 20, 1972, carrying rescue teams who finally reached the remaining survivors. It was a scene of profound relief and overwhelming emotion as the 14 survivors were airlifted to safety, reuniting them with loved ones who had long feared they were lost. The world was stunned by their story, a testament to human endurance, resilience, and courage. News of their survival captivated the globe, and their return became a symbol of hope. 9. The psychological aftermath. Though they were physically safe, the emotional scars left on the survivors were profound and lasting. Many struggled with deep-seated guilt over the decisions they had made to survive, particularly the difficult choice of cannibalism. Survivors' guilt plagued some, who questioned why they had lived when others had not. Flashbacks, nightmares, and post-traumatic stress became common experiences as they tried to adjust to everyday life. Their ordeal had changed them forever, yet the shared trauma forged unbreakable bonds among the survivors, who leaned on each other for support and healing. They found ways to cope, attending therapy sessions and connecting through regular reunions, recognizing that only those who had endured the experience could fully understand its impact. 10. Legacy and lessons learned. The story of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 has left a lasting legacy, one that has inspired books, documentaries, and the 1993 film Alive, each capturing the harrowing yet inspiring tale. The survivors' courage and resilience have become a symbol of the human spirit's capacity to endure in the face of overwhelming adversity. Their story is taught as a case study in survival psychology, emphasizing the importance of community, leadership, and adaptability. Today, survivors continue to share their experience, advocating for strength and gratitude in the face of challenges. Their journey reminds the world that even in the darkest moments, there is hope, and that the will to survive can overcome even the most harrowing conditions. The Flight 571 story remains a testament to the power of human resilience and serves as an enduring source of inspiration across generations. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of survival and resilience. The story of Flight 571 is a powerful reminder of the human spirit's strength. If you found this story moving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more remarkable stories of courage and endurance. See you in the next one.